I've got a feeling that when Senior comes home, I'm going to be held responsible for all these rubber marks for marking up and down the museum floor. But I'm sorry, Pop. There's a blizzard outside. There's nothing we could do. Check it out, fellas. 1997 Honda CR125 Scott Sheak Replica. Rest in peace. This bike was built to remember Sheak and his accomplishments in probably his pinnacle year, the 1997 Pro Motocross National Circuit. He won the overall high point that year and placed third in the overall point standings, right behind Wyndham in second and Carmichael, who won the championship in his rookie year, which was remarkable. Everyone's favorite old two-stroke chassis, this Honda steel chassis. In the last year of it for the 125 model, because in 98 he went to the steel frame, or excuse me, the aluminum frame. This bike was restored by our good friend Pete Hogan, who had it on display in the museum here for several years, and Pete had actually pulled it off display and kept it in his house for a year or two. This bike has less than 2 hours on a complete frame-off restoration. I've got his restoration notes here. I'll start with that. It was completely disassembled. The frame was powder-coated. The top end was rebuilt. An engine was inspected. The original lower end's nice and tight. New handlebars, new levers, new cables, new grips, these nice half-waffle Renthal handlebar grips, new radiators and hoses. These are the big aluminum radiators. New rear rim and spokes. I believe the front hoop to be the original. New tires. Brand new Pro Circuit pipe. Come over on this side. The small batch stuff, the Pro Circuit factory pipe. This is a like brand new pipe. It's perfectly straight. The silencer was repacked. See out back here we've got the Shorty Pro Circuit pipe to match. It's got brand new clutch and ignition covers. You got the Honda Racing cover on the left. You see it's the HPP motor, and again the Honda Racing side cover on the right side. It's got a brand new throttle housing, new throttle body. The suspension, swing arm, and linkage bearings were cleaned and greased, but everything is tight on this bike, and everything's been serviced. It's got all new plastics on it. The original tank, there's new decals there. New gripper seat. I don't know where you got the seat, Pete, but I'm in love with it. This is top, nice gripper seat. Nothing crazy about it. It's that OEM look, and it's fresh. And of course, we got the bike in and we had to go through it, give it our stamp of approval. Compression test came back at 220 psi, nice high compression, little 125 ripper. The fuel was drained and replaced with VPT2. That's a premixed 40-to-1 ethanol-free quality fuel from VP. Super stable. Cleaned and inspected the carburetor, replaced the vent hoses and fuel lines with new ones. Cleaned and oiled the air filter, installed a new spark plug, installed a new clutch lever, adjusted the chain, aired up the tires, topped the coolant off, clean and full, flushed the brake fluid front and rear, and also changed the transmission lube. On top of that, let me see, of course it went down to detail where it was hot water pressure wash and degreased, tires were cleaned, chain seat cleaned. The frame was touched up locally because it did have that 2 hours of ride time, and the exhaust was polished along with the wheels and the forks that were also polished. But guys, this is a museum quality steely here. I'm going to show you the frame rails. That's a tradition. Nice and clean set of frame rails, nice suspension on this bike. It's got the show of forks. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, this has a 2009 CRF 450 set of forks on it. The upgraded shows, that's what the factory bikes had, and that's what Pete put on the bike. So huge upgrade there. These bikes came with the KYB forks, which were great, but this is definitely an upgrade. The new forks off the CRF, and this is all properly done with the newer CRF hub up front, laced to the wheel. So the front wheel was also new. Forgive me, guys. Let me see what else we got here. So of course the clamps are off of CRF. You'll see. Check it out up here. Show them the top triple clamp here, Jordan. Yeah, but all the head bearings and everything are as new. So the question I had for Pete, was the stem modified? No, the stem was not modified, but the bearings had to be retrofitted. But you'll see up here the steering lock is it's like OEM fit. That's a lot of the time when you don't get that, like, whether their steering stops are broken off or they're not present. You see that a lot with the front end conversions, but this thing is tight and it's done right and it doesn't need anything. Can't say enough good about it. Let me show you the rails here. The tires are brand new. We just completely went through it in-house, so it's got the Kaplan America seal of approval. This bike is ready for display. Take it to the Vintage National, showing the bottom of the frame rail, Jordan. This right side, perfectly straight. Probably a little fuel leaking out because the bowl is still full of fuel. See on this side, like perfectly straight. Show them the swing arm and the linkage as well down here. And then also show them the bottom of the forks, Jordan. The stuff that if you rode it in the New England trails, bounced it off the rocks, all this stuff would be gouged up. This was a low hour example. Well, I guess the forks are pulled off a donor CRF, but even still, all the cycle parts are mint. Really nice frame, tremendous actually. And I'll tell you what, guys, to replicate this bike today, to get a Facebook roach and try and turn it into this, best of luck to you, because you're going to spend, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars in a year of your time at the least. These kinds of restorations are not for the faint of heart, that's for certain. So it's going to be sold on our work order notes. Wow. It's not every day that you get a Steely that's this clean. For a last year 125 Sheak replica, this really belongs in a collection. And I'll invite the new owner to keep the bike on display here for as long as they like. I'd love to continue to house this in the museum, and that's not something that we offer to many people, especially now. Space is a premium down here. Most bikes we ask the buyers to move them out as quickly as possible. To the new owner, if they'd like to keep it here, if they'd be so gracious as to let us display it, I'll sign a 1-year storage agreement free of charge here inside the museum. It's climate controlled, where people can walk through and enjoy it. We can ship it anywhere in the States inexpensively. Message your zip code for a shipping quote. We also offer financing through Freedom Road Financial. You can call in for a pre-application, 860-471-0192. This bike is tight and right and excuse-free. There's really nothing else to say about it, guys. Any questions? If you come up with anything, give us a call. Otherwise, thanks for watching this far. Good luck bidding. Jordan, keep the camera rolling. I'm going to fire it up and I'm going to roll it out to the... actually, this bike isn't going anywhere because I got to shoot the photos on it. But let me fire it up for you one more time so you hear the 125 bark. Thanks, guys. God bless America.